back for episode 3, Hawks and Hecklers.
Oh god, yeah.
Hopefully you heard that burp. It's pretty cool.
That was poor timing.
Start again?
No, I will just keep it in there.
Yeah. Well, just first of all, I want to thank all the people that viewed the video. We're up to 183 views on episode 2. That's, I don't know, that's like 2/3 of the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost.
We have more dislikes than likes on it, though. That's not good.
I think that's like all the juniors, though, just were pissed off.
Yeah, they're
because
not
of what we
huge
said.
fans, I bet.
But that's a personal problem of theirs. Well, going forward, we just would like to hear what type of things you want to hear about. So
yeah, any issues or interests that you guys want us to talk about? We'll probably talk about anything, or we don't really care.
yeah, just give us something.
Yeah.
Today we want to talk about parking, obviously. We want to talk about basketball a little bit, some of the other sporting events we had going on around the school.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe talk with some hockey fans, because it seems like they've been being harassed by the John Stark athletic director in the stands.
Yeah, I'm excited for that part.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that in a little bit. But first of all, Joe, what do you want to tell your little story about Jack Horn? And
I mean, it's not much of a story. We released that on Sunday, or if actually it was Saturday. We put it out a day early, just because why not?
Why not?
And I believe it was Monday. I looked out when I was leaving school, and I saw that Jack Horn was parked in a junior spot, and I was pumped. And I was like, maybe something happened. Maybe some us and a bunch of other people. People kind of finally came to their sentences. And I wrote down on this we have a little sheet that we wrote down and stuff on that we're going to talk about in the episode. And I wrote down, apologize to Jack Horn.
He did a good deed. We thought he was he was going back to being normal, just doing what the juniors should do.
Because you know what? I love Jack Horn. I played football with Jack Horn. He's so funny. He's a good
I have
kid.
no hate for Jack Horn either, except for
the choices he makes
in that parking lot.
And I'm going to rescind this apology because you don't deserve it anymore.
And why is that?
Because he moved back to our green spots.
That's correct. So obviously, looks like the juniors didn't like this video. I mean, let me just read some of the comments here from Hawks and Hecklers episode 2. So we got 3 comments here. We got Aiden Horn, who says he doesn't even go to this high school. He says you guys are gay.
That's very hateful.
That's bullshit. Jack Horn says, I'd like to call out Grace Clark. That's not very nice.
That's respectable.
I mean,
it was
maybe
not very respectful, I will say.
She did say f*** you, but Jack, you were violating some f***ing parking laws. You saw that write-up that was put on your windshield. You gotta follow it. And Lucas Lajeunesse here, he says, the senior parking committee.
Where did he say that?
Oh, it's on there. I know it is.
Oh, really?
Maybe he removed it, but
oh, really?
I know he said that. So, I mean, Lucas, you can say whatever you want, man, but
he said, I talked to him the other day, he said he was a big fan of the podcast. So
yeah, I don't know. He just wants attention or something. Well, anyway, we've also been hearing about the juniors that they
started a little group chat or something like that.
A group chat, they're plotting something.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
I've heard that they're going to just get out here one day early and just park in all the green spots that they can, but I don't think they realize that half of the seniors get here probably just as early. I don't know. I don't get here that early. I get here pretty late most days.
Oh, I'm always parked somewhere far away, you know.
Yeah.
Well, not like far.
But
I shouldn't be parked far away, actually, because other people are taking my goddamn spots.
Yeah.
So people like me who want to show up at 7:59 should be able to park wherever the I want.
Yeah. That whole plan thing, I don't know. It's kind of just stupid on their part, to be honest, because they're all just going to lose their parking privileges.
Exactly.
I mean, go ahead. Go for it. Do it.
Do it. That's what I bet I will. Every other junior class, including our own, who's gone to this high school, has never done anything as stupid as this. They just parked where they did. Next year, guys, you're going to get your senior privileges, and you can park wherever your heart desires.
Exactly. I heard that, so we've had, I'm not going to name any names here, I don't want to call anyone out.
Besides Jack Horn.
Jack Horn, but I've heard that some people are arguing that some people that are parking in there are socially seniors, so they're allowed to park there. So I'd say that's first of all, is just ridiculous, because it doesn't matter how you are socially.
So apparently Mr. Kelly has been informed of this parking fiasco.
So I don't know what he's going to do with that. I just heard that he was told, so hopefully we have something about that. It'd be nice, maybe, for the administration to get involved.
Yeah.
We'll see. Anyway, we've got a lot of backlash from this.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Thing. We're not loved by the juniors right now, even some of my friends that are juniors.
You know what? I don't really care what they say. I know that we're right in what we're doing here.
Well, I know, right? Because we're just following the rules.
Exactly. So, I don't give a shit. Nothing
And
bad's gonna happen.
They say, oh well, there's snow like blocking our spots. We'll just park further back, man. Like it's just not a big deal.
Exactly.
Don't take our spots. Take yours. We don't have enough. We don't have enough spots for ourselves. You don't have enough spots for yourselves. You park further back, so we can park further back.
That is exactly right. Well, one other thing I wanted to mention here was the, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but as you drive into the high school, that frickin' bump, or actually it's a dip, it's not even a bump.
It's been
there,
there,
speed
been
bumps?
there probably forever. I don't know.
Forever. Speed bump, I get they're trying to get people to drive slowly into school, but if you go to like Harold Martin, Maple Street, there's actual speed bumps. This is what I don't understand. Like, just make a bump, not a dip. This is like damaging to people's cars. Mm-hmm. I don't know. They should fix that. So, we're talking about snow days. We haven't had any snow days this year.
No, we have not. Today, Wednesday the 13th, it snowed last night. It really wasn't that bad. Probably, 6 inches, maybe?
Yeah. Roads were clear in the morning.
The roads were fine, dude. It was honestly not a big deal. But, nonetheless, it snowed, and we should have had a snow day.
Our game was canceled tonight. You know why? Because Monadnock canceled. I heard they didn't even get much snow down there.
No,
like, less than us.
Yeah,
but,
probably.
I mean, we haven't had any snow days this year. I'm pretty sure, I don't know how many snow days John Stark has had, but...
Oh, I've probably had like
three or four.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is not necessarily concerned about the roads and people dying.
It's not a safety concern.
It's not a safety concern. It is a mental health concern. Anybody's ever been in health class, they'll know that they say you need to get 9 to 10 hours of sleep. I guarantee you, most people are not getting that because we aren't having enough snow days. Some people work on the weekends. You can't sleep late even on the weekends, but you need that sleep, and it's got to come every once in a while.
That's the most valid point you've ever made.
That is damn straight. See, right now, the internet is being stupid. I don't know why it's not working.
I don't know, but it just means I get to play the dinosaur game right now, so that's fine with me.
Oh, one other thing that I forgot to mention, or I want to apologize for. I gave a unsolicited shout out to Lay's potato chips last week.
Oh yeah, no free ads.
No free ads on our show. You got to pay us if you want advertising. So, my bad.
We're in this for the money only.
Yeah, Lay's potato chips aren't even the best anyway.
It's Cape Cod.
Cape Cod is the best.
Yeah, then Deep River.
But I can't shout them out either. Deep River.
Yeah, but that's right. True. We can't even shout out Cape Cod.
Or we can't shout out anybody. So, apologize for all the things we just said.
Yep. Cape Cod, you better give us some money now. That's all I'm saying.
So, we're going to talk a little about girls basketball here.
Oh, yeah.
People wanted us to talk about that. So, yeah. Looks like got a pretty solid team from...
Yeah, we don't know anything about the girls basketball team. We haven't really seen a game. I honestly think, I don't know if we've had a time where we've been able to see one of the games because of our schedule.
Yeah. So, we got the schedule up here. So, they've only lost... they've only lost 5 games. That's not terrible. Respectable. Mm-hmm. Lost a lot of close games. So...
Oh, yeah.
They look like they're going to have a good playoff run.
Yeah, they got 2 games left against what?
Monadnock
Monadnock's second place.
And Guilford.
Guilford is 8-9, dude.
Yeah, so they should win at least one more game. Maybe 2.
Maybe 2, yeah. Pull up an
Only
upset.
lost Monadnock by 10. I think they're Monadnock's really good. So.
Yeah, they're 14, tied for first.
So.
With Conan. How did we do against Conan? We only lost to Conan by 2.
Yeah, so should be a damn good game.
Doable, yeah.
Yeah.
That's really all we know about girls basketball.
That's all we know about girls basketball. We're just not very knowledgeable on the subject.
If you're on the team and you want to talk to us, go for it.
Hit us up next week. Yeah. We'll do a little playoff talk with you.
Mm-hmm. DM us on Instagram.
Exactly. At Hawks and Hecklers
podcast.
All right. Well, I also want to give a shout out to the girls Alpine team.
They had their I believe state finals, state meet this Monday. This Monday they can get up early, buses at 6:30 or something like that. I know they came in 4th place. Two skiers made it to the next the meet of champions.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can find that right now if you give me a minute.
Now, well, while he finds that, also want to give a shout out to the swim team. I think they placed. What did they place?
I think it was 8th.
8th in the state meet. That's pretty respectable. We haven't had a swim program for too long, so good job to them. I think a couple swimmers that's going to the
next round.
Next round too.
Meet champions. I don't know.
It's probably Sydney.
I believe
stuff like that.
Sydney and her sister Kaylee, and maybe someone else. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. So Addie Locke and Elizabeth Berliner qualified for the Meet of Champions.
All right.
For Alpine.
Yeah. We have top finishers in there, or our top 5 for the races were
top 5. So we had Anna Hoffman had a strong run, Lily Presti, and Maggie Haley.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's how that was. There's nothing about the swim team on here.
Really? All right. Well, swim team, let us know how you did, and we'll.
If you want to talk to us, we're open to it. Well, coming up, we're gonna have hopefully we're gonna have an interview with Caleb Yanakopoulos. We'll talk about Conant game last.
Yep. And
whatever it was last week.
Yeah, and their playoff outlook.
Yep. They should have some games coming up. Should win some games.
Yeah.
Talk with some people about the crowd, and have that up for you shortly. All right, well, I'm here with Caleb Yanakopoulos, and he's going to talk to me about some of the recent basketball games. So why don't you tell us about the Conant game and the Guilford game as well?
Well, Conant, big opponents there, and their gym is like the inside. It's like my bathroom at home. Its walls are basically on the out of bounds lines of the court, so it's always fun playing there. They had their whole fan section in safari stuff like what we had when they were at our place, and I was getting heckled the entire game per usual. A lot of Caleb, where's Henry, and a lot of that stuff. So
how'd you play that game?
I had about 10 points, so not too hard, but
not too bad.
But we only lost by 8, so
It's a good game.
yeah, so it was all right.
Guilford,
that was last night. We won by 10 points or so. We shut their big guys down. That was huge. Kevin threw down a monster dunk, shut those kids right up, so that was fun. And they have these enormous bleachers and had about 3 fans there, so yeah, it's funny.
All right. So what would you say has been going well for you this season for the team?
The team?
Yeah.
Rebounding. That is a huge plus for us because, I think we're one of the only teams that enjoys rebounding, It's a fun thing to do. Get some boards.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What would you say your weaknesses are this year?
Turnovers. We do a lot of those. A lot of giving the ball to the other team.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you plan to stop that for the playoffs?
Give the ball to the people who actually can dribble. Because we have a lot of people that just dribble the ball, myself, that don't know how to dribble. And give it to the guards, and that's our. Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
What about the crowd at the hockey game? What can you tell us about that?
Well, I think that's the best crowd that exists in the Hopkinton student sections. We get rowdy, and what's his name? Searles.
You don't gotta call him out, but
I'll call him out. The 80,
man.
He comes over to me and he stares right at me and says, "You calling out numbers again? I'm gonna kick you out for the game and for the rest of the season." And I looked right back at him and I said, "Listen here, you've come over 3 times, 3 games this season, looked right at me and said the same thing, and it's not me. It's the Stark fans sometimes are the ones that are doing it. I mean, we're not even calling them out. But last game was the worst. It's tough.
Are you calling out guys from our team or from the other team?
Both.
Both.
Yeah. And they, they're not happy about it. So
I heard you kind of stood up to him. So what'd you do there?
Yeah. No, I walked right over to him and I said, "You've called me out 3 times now, and it's never been me." So I was like, "Why are you doing it?" And he said, "Must be my guilty conscience." I said, "What guilty conscience? I'm not doing anything, and you don't need to be doing this." And he just walked away. And he came back angrily, slammed the boards, and walked back away. It was hilarious. Everyone was laughing. Really
well, we hope that crowd gets to be the crowd at the hockey games. Well, and good luck in the rest of the basketball season.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been Caleb Yanakopoulos. All right. Well, one of the other things we wanted to talk about this week was some recent developments from the Battle of Bands and how that affects the senior class. Our special guest this week is Henry Lavoie. He's an avid drummer, obviously involved in the Battle of Bands, as am myself. We're a little bit shaken up about what's going on right now.
Yeah, I'm one of the few people who's been involved with the music program since 7th grade. I've done Battle of the Bands every year. I think it's a really important part of our school, and I think there's been some changes this year that are unfortunate, not just for this year, but for the future of the Battle of the Bands. So, thought there was some stuff we could talk about. So, Larson could give us some context about, what's going on for those who don't know yet.
So we had a song we've been practicing
Probably
2-3 weeks,
something
like that.
Sounding pretty good too.
Yeah,
coming together.
so we were trying to play the Pina Colada song. Everything, class advisors heard we were practicing in the Audi after school. They heard it, like, oh, that sounds great. Let me just run it by administration, see if they're all right with it. And turns out they weren't, because as you might expect, Pina Colada, which is the song we were doing, the Pina Colada song. Pina Colada is an alcoholic beverage. Even though you could have virgin pina colada, it is being referred to as a alcoholic beverage. That's a whole nother debate, how you want to interpret the song, but that's how it was.
But regardless of your interpretation, there are some definitely overt things. Making love at midnight, whatever you want to say. I could see why administration would be not so keen on letting us play, but that's it. So what happened after that?
Well, we were talking to our class advisors, Miss Centros and Miss Meserve, and they were saying, well, maybe we can sort this out somehow.
Two of them being champs, by the way. I think they're doing a pretty good job kind of mediating between us and administration.
So we were, Miss Gagnon was actually nice enough to meet with Henry and I and Miss Centros, and we had a little chat about how we should go about changing the lyrics maybe so we can still perform the song.
It was a really great conversation, actually. She gave us some opportunity to voice our concerns and our opinion about this whole thing. We'll get into that in a bit. But she also, gave her opinion, which, correct me if I'm wrong, Larson, but her whole thing was that we have limited school hours during the year. We've had to cut back on class times, all that. So when we have to take class time away to do an event like Winter Carnival, that the school has to be very careful to adhere to the school's core beliefs, the above all care things, which are posted all over the school, because, we have to be able to justify that time spent away from class to higher ups, administration, school board, all of that.
Yeah, so, she's kind of going along with this argument that, and I get it, you gotta be with core values. They've spent a lot of time hashing that out.
I agree, yep.
It's very important to the administration of our school, but there are other instances where certain groups in the school have actually taken time away from the school and have been allowed to do similar things to what the senior class Battle of Bands was trying to do.
Yeah, so, going forward, I'd like to make the point, it might sound like we're kind of nitpicking, but I have to say, when the administration goes through and says we can't say the word bar in a song, that in itself is nitpicking, so I feel like it's only fair that both sides get to partake in that.
Yeah, so Henry, you want to share some examples of years past? I know you've been involved in the play a lot, as drumming, and you know how that's been, some things with that, and also some other class battle bands who may have had inappropriate references in their songs.
Yeah, so let's start with the musical first off. Musical's obviously awesome. I think it's one of the best things the school puts on every year.
I saw it. It was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every year.
Especially this year. I think it's pretty clear, especially this year for everyone who saw it. There's some pretty raunchy themes, not very subtle. Not to mention the actual alcohol use and that sort of thing within the musical. Mrs. Cintros brought up the point, well, that's not during school hours. Which is fair, but, I'd like to bring up 2 points. A, that it's obviously a school-affiliated event. The school sponsors it. They put the Hopkinton Hawk on the programs.
And that was the argument about how our podcast is affiliated with the school, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
That we have the Hawk in the name, which I don't necessarily agree with.
Whatever.
I think that's not
true, but that's
another argument.
Another day, yeah. But, my other big thing with that is there actually has been class time set aside for the musical, and that I believe it was Thursday before the musical was supposed to happen, kids were able to get out of class for the back half of the day.
Given that is a small amount of kids compared to the amount of kids who are missing class for Winter Carnival.
Agreed, but I'd say, if the school is going to saying hey, we don't believe in setting aside class time in order to promote ideas of sex and alcohol, then, there are examples that are pretty clear of doing that. I'm not saying that kids shouldn't be able to get out of class for the musical. I totally get that. My bigger point here is that if the musical and the drama department's allowed to do that, then why can't that be the same case for Battle of Bands? So the other big point that I have is Battle of Bands in the past years has also been, pretty raunchy. The two examples that come to mind, maybe a smaller one, played Bohemian Rhapsody. What was that, sophomore year?
That was our sophomore year.
Sophomore year, yep. That's the song. Opens up, Mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, all that.
Pulled the trigger, now he's dead.
Yeah, exactly. Mrs. Gagnon asked us, what's your guys' message with the song? Pretty explicitly said, there's no message. This is just a competition where we're supposed to perform a song, and we're just performing songs.
We like
That's all
the
we
song.
Want to do. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Just,
it's a good
there's
song.
no malintent. It's just
everyone knows it.
We're just trying to have a good time. Play some music.
Another example, another song that we played freshman year. This is back when Cam Mons was our star performer.
Roamed the campus of Hopkinton Middle High School.
So, Ice Ice Baby, we played that and did a mashup with Under Pressure, but there's some pretty raunchy shit in that song as well. I think it's the third verse. It says, quote, gunshots ranged out like a bell. I grabs my 9. All I heard were shells falling on the concrete real fast. Jumped in my car, slammed on the gas. Bumper to bumper, the avenue's packed. So, there have been past years where there have been songs that clearly have some, questionable stuff that I would argue are probably even more explicit or overt.
Given
this.
It's not a sex and alcohol reference, but it is referencing guns. That's a big issue in school.
Yeah,
so.
no, exactly. I'm pretty sure the Hopkinton High School core beliefs does not support shooting people up,
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's pretty safe to say. So that's the big thing is there are quite a few exceptions where in the past the school set aside time for students to participate in events where drugs and alcohol are referenced. That's only changed this year, obviously, because of the whole ordeal last year at Winter Carnival. That's kind of changed the whole culture.
Well, I want to thank Henry for coming by to record this bit. Hopefully we'll be able to still play the song in some capacity.
Yep.
But that's up to the administration. We'll hear back in a few days.
Oh, we didn't talk about hockey.
Yeah, we're not talking about the hockey game this week because it was too close and it makes us feel bad about
I
ourselves.
feel really bad about myself.
Goodbye.